All right, y'all. JDB Sports football is back. We have the Hall of Fame game coming up in 2 days. Preseason between the Lions and the Chargers. Got some news that you want to rattle off real quick. And I know you said we had some contracts, some injuries. Want to go ahead over a couple?
Yeah, let's jump right into it. I mean, a bunch of injuries. It's football. Football's back in full swing, and I mean, again, injuries come along with that. Kind of some that stand out to me. Yeah, jumping around a little bit. That stand to me. Oh,
Yeah.
all bad. Hey yo. Matthew Stafford. He's having a little bit of a disc issue. You see this year to year from him.
That man's old.
Kind of having, just injuries racking up and everything like that. It doesn't look like he'll be ready until week 1. And even then, I'm just worried about him re-injuring it with, again, his extensive injury history and getting up there in age. And Justin Jefferson, I think, big hamstring injury. They're saying he's going to be good by week 1. I do trust that. But this is the second hamstring type injury over the course of the last 2 years for him. A little bit worrisome in my opinion long term, especially for someone so young. I feel like a hamstring issue, and if this is something that lingers and gets worse, and I see it affecting him in the regular season. So definitely staying away from him for fantasy purposes, and hope he just gets well for real football purposes.
Yeah, let's say at least until he gets 100%. But hamstrings are difficult, especially when it comes to relying on speed. Justin Jefferson has more talent than just speed, but obviously having speed as a wide receiver is good. When you get out there and get those deep passes, let's get on that. Let's get on Tyler Guyton. He's out 4 to 6 weeks with a bone fracture. They fear that it was an ACL, but it's not. That's crazy. Their first round pick, man. The one that everybody thought that they kind of reached on a little bit is out 4 to 6 weeks and won't be starting.
Well, Tyler Guyton was their 2023 first, I believe.
Sure.
Yeah. Tyler Booker was the first rounder this year.
Yeah, names. Tyler, same thing, my bad. Either way, offensive lineman in the first round, nothing new for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and looking to have a really formidable line, I think that would have been a huge loss for them, but they stand that through. Couple other injuries. Joe Mixon kind of having a complicated ankle injury. I expect him to land on the PUP list to start the year, in all honesty. D'Amico Ryans doesn't sound confident speaking to the media on his behalf. Again, just a sign of another lingering injury. Again, he had the ankle problem last year. He was out the middle of the season, came back late, re-injured the ankle, and wasn't the same going forward. So again, don't really like the sign of that there. Darnell Mooney, he had a little bit of a shoulder injury, expecting to keep him out of entire preseason reps. Again, not good there. Isaiah Likely, he rolled up on his ankle in Ravens camp. He's not doing well. And then Martin Emerson just tore his Achilles, it looks like. So the Browns, little depth, and, time's a ticking for them to make more moves. But
speaking of the Browns, about them trading, about the potential for them to trade the quarterback, who do you think gets the axe in the Browns camp?
I mean, Kenny Pickett was taking the ones until he had his hamstring injury, so I think he sticks around. Dylan Gabriel's looked terrible. Again, I don't quite understand why they drafted 2 QBs 2 rounds apart. Again, that was dumb, in my opinion, and you can't really trade Joe Flacco if you're expecting him to be the day 1 starter. So I think it depends on the health of Kenny Pickett. In all honesty, the only problem is there's no trade value for any of these guys. They're going to get a bag of chips for whoever they move.
Yeah, if that. I mean, I think I said it before. I think I see Joe Flacco starting. I'm going to say, just for craps and giggles, we'll say that Kenny Pickett backs up, even though he's dealing with his hamstring, and then Shedera's 3. I feel like Dylan Gabriel's on the weekend out, because like you said, he's been performing terrible, but at the same time, you have a lot of people breaking down camp. You're going to see the highlight reels of, players outperforming expectations. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good studs out there, but you got to think of it. What is exactly scripted and what is just, ball to ball luck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like receivers catching one-handed behind two defenders in the end zone. That's luck in my opinion. But at the same time, they're gonna script their quarterbacks to look good no matter who's out there. I mean, except for that Aaron Rodgers pick six and the Dylan Gabriel one too. So good. Sorry about that.
I mean, I don't equate like a 2v1, a wide receiver going up on two corners and equate that automatically with being luck, but camp can be misleading for sure. It's just, again, reports on top of clips are a little more convincing than anything, and the Browns are just in a weird spot.
The Browns are the Browns. It is what it is. It's not really fun to really say too much on them. We'll just see what happens. But like I said, I think Joe Flacco does start, and Shedeur is definitely in that room. Just what are they going to do with the fourth quarterback? They're going to waive him, like you said, trade him. What's the deal?
Put him on the practice squad again. Yeah. I'm not quite sure. The Browns, again, just horribly run franchise, and actually their owner came out and said we got to stop drafting these people with character concerns because it's becoming an issue. So even he's admitting fault. I mean,
they traded for Deshaun Watson, but that is what it is.
Yeah. But they're talking Quinshon Judkins, perfect example this year. I don't think he's ever going to touch an NFL field. I think he ruined his career. So him getting arrested for battery right off rip and not even signing an NFL contract, being the only rookie not to sign a contract, actually.
Crazy. He's on my Madden team. Fullback, I think. We got into some of the contract news, I believe, but if we didn't, it was the Cortland Sutton 4-year, $92 million extension.
Yeah, that's a really good deal for the Broncos. They lock up their wide receiver one. I see him more as a really good 2 and on a contending team, but still, nonetheless, they got it done there, and kind of setting precedent for a Terry McLaurin deal that is yet to happen.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. I think we talked a little bit off stream about this one, and honestly, I'm just going to say F it. Commanders fan out here, I'm just going to say F it. If he's looking for as much as, I think, over 33 mil a year, I don't think he's going to be on the other side of 30. He's definitely losing a step as far as the speed. He's not as fast as he once was. I mean, he got skinny on a couple plays last year and really blew it off, but AO not blowing it off like that. But anyways, he blew up the top off the defense, and then I don't know. Just hate to see it for him because he finally got a quarterback after 8 other quarterbacks. So he finally got a quarterback, and they just don't. They're just so far apart on the deal. Who knows what it actually is? If it's the guaranteed money, if it's the amount of years. But I think we were talking about like a 3-year, $30 million deal before he was expecting the $33 million deal.
Yeah, and even then, like he's even apart on 33 mil. I don't quite understand it. I get the loyalty factor, but you've never had a 1,200-yard season. It was your first year over 10 touchdowns, and you're not getting paid CeeDee Lamb money. You're just not. You're not as good as CeeDee Lamb. You're not as good as a Jamar Chase. You're not as good as a Justin Jefferson. You're not as good as an AJ Brown. You're not as good. I can go on. Like these are top guys.
A lot can say, but a lot can say. Well, a lot will say that he has definitely proven himself playing with those garbage time quarterbacks, still producing.
1,000%.
Yeah, but he's still a productive wide receiver. You just don't think he's worth top 3 elite money.
Give him DK Metcalf money. Give him $30 million a year for 3 years because DK Metcalf is younger, and DK Metcalf's actually produced more, albeit the quarterback situation. But then again, I think 3 years, $90 million with good guarantees is fine. But he's looking for 3 years, $102 million plus, and he's not going to get that. Brandon Ayuk, again, I don't know how he got the contract he got with the Niners after holding out for that long. I love the Ayuk talent there, but again,
Terry and
It's
Ayuk
a
aren't the
bigger
same receiver. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's bigger injury risk when you haven't been playing all camp and you haven't been doing anything,
I was
even
gonna
when
say
you're
that.
holding in,
Yeah, you're
it
holding
has a
in.
bad track record.
You're holding in, staying on the sideline, not really participating like that, like you should. And like you said, who knows if they're actually keeping healthy off the field? I'm talking about any holdout in general, not just about Terry. You could talk about Trey Hendrickson and holdouts of the past with Ayuk. It is what it is. It's a bad track record as far as injuries are concerned. That next year they just don't. They either don't produce like they did the year before they held out, or the injuries come and bite them and take them off the field early. It's not looking good for Terry McLaurin at this moment. Really love the guy though too. Number one wide receiver in my opinion. Not going to say he's worth top 10 elite talent because he's. I hate to say that he still has to prove himself, but he still kind of has to prove himself. Kind of. And I only say that because there was a couple games last year where he got completely phased out. The defense completely took him away. So, I mean, he's a solid.
That's possibly because not a good compliment, but again,
yeah, that too. But I was gonna say,
elite do elite stuff, no matter what.
No, for real. I mean, Terry has showed up in clutch moments. Not gonna lie, he has. The Dallas game where he ran for that 80-yard touchdown, and literally we missed the game. We missed the game tying kick. But yeah, he's had some clutch moments. The Lions game, he's steep. I mean, I didn't think 90 million is steep, but at the same time, I'm not a freaking a numbers guy when it comes to contracts and stuff and what's good for players and all that. If they got to get a deal done. Adam Peach has been saying for weeks now. Terry's our guy. We want to keep him here. We want to keep him here for a long time. We're gonna do whatever we can to get a deal done with him. So enough about the Terry McLaurin drama. Hate to see it as a Commanders fan, but other than that, everything else has been pretty quiet. Except for where you said that Jalen Lane catch on camp, but I heard. I saw Jaden Daniels' first pass during camp, and it was a dime. But then again,
he's been making good plays for sure. Yeah.
But you want to talk about the 4 NFL employees? Or you want to?
I'll break down the employees first. Again, a deranged man unfortunately came into a building. I believe it was in New York. My apologies about the location. However, it was an NFL operating office, and he walked in, 27-year-old with CTE, went crazy, and unfortunately unalived 4 people in the building, and then proceeded to unalive himself after yelling, screaming, whole 9 yards there. So condolences go out to all those employees involved, all the families, hoping and praying everything gets better as much as it can. Situations like this are just terrible to see and uncommon, but it still sucks to see. So
rest in peace to those, and as well as the deranged man himself. He was just dealing with a mental illness beyond all comprehension. Just hate to see it, but just hope people would really get the help they need before they go in and take the lives of other people. You hate to see it in any circumstance. So rest in peace to them, as well as rest in peace to those celebrities that have fallen over this last week. I think we talked about the Ozzy Osbourne one last week on the stream. I think Hulk Hogan was another one. There was a couple other out there too, but I've been seeing Ozzy tributes all over the place. And as a fan of Ozzy Osbourne growing up, he was my top 10 on MySpace, by the way. Him and Journey was up. They were up there on my music playlist in my top 10. So,
heck yeah. Well, on to some better news. Let's get to some more light stuff. That will be the end of all the bad news bears, Yeah. But as far as some good news goes, another guy getting his money, Charger Rashawn Slater, 4 years, $114 million, biggest contract as a left tackle, and honestly as a lineman in the league. I think it's well deserved. I thought he's a top 5 left tackle last year, and he's a solid man of that line for years to come and keeps Herbert protected. So I can't really mind that.
Quite a solid man of that line, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for years to come.
You talked about the Jack Jones and Mike Hilton to the Dolphins right after the Artie Burns ACL tear.
I didn't know. I didn't talk about Artie Burns tearing his ACL, but again, signed a duo because Dolphins probably have still the worst secondary in the league, in my opinion. It's quite awful. Getting Jack Jones and Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton kind of a down year last year after some good years with the Bengals. Jack Jones, inconsistent, has high athleticism, but his floor is awful and he can get burnt easy in coverage. So
yeah, and then Julian Blackman is signing with the Saints. I believe we talked about that one. And then Shamar Stewart with that fully guaranteed contract finally after holding out all these weeks. So
yeah, good for him. All first round picks are now signed. All rookies are signed except again Quinshon Judkins. So great deal there. Again, I didn't really touch on the Saints getting Julian Blackman. I think it's a great replacement for Will Harris, especially late in free agency on the cheap. Not sure what the contract exactly shakes out to, but I think is around $5 million a year for just one. So again, such a steal there. Josh Metellus, again, utility man for the Vikings. He played the most defensive positions in the NFL last season. He lined up actually everywhere on the defense. Crazy to see. And he gets well-deserved money, $12 million a year over 3 years. So great for him.
Are you deleting stuff on our notes, Peyton? Are you deleting stuff on our notes? Because things are going away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm deleting the stuff we're talking about.
All right, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not doing anything. It's just doing it by itself. I'm not used to using Apple Notes for my notes, so it's the first.
No worries.
And he did the Traylon Burks got released. We talked about that one a little bit. Christian Wilkins.
Not really.
We didn't. Okay.
No.
I'm about to put check marks to these notes.
Again,
next
I
time.
moved everything off we've talked about.
All right.
It's all good. But yeah, Traylon Burks, a former trade pick for AJ Brown, thought he would work out in Tennessee, and honestly, he had flashes. He was just always injured. So,
well, it's words due, I guess. It is what it is. We'll talk about the Christian Wilkins released after inappropriate behavior and has a history of said behavior. You want to enlighten me a little bit more on that one, because I really did not. I have not been keeping up with the Christian Wilkins drama. What's been going on with him?
So the Raiders filed a grievance against Christian Wilkins. Won't be paying out the rest of his contract, and again going to court against him because he refused to get a foot surgery. They said after refusing to get said foot surgery, you could see him dancing in the Raiders locker room. On top of that, he kissed one of his teammates, made him uncomfortable, and he has a past history of making people uncomfortable. There's clips of him touching other men's genitalia on the field, Josh Allen, and in college he touched running backs. Yeah, gross. Again, you can find those clips on Twitter I did.
That reminds me of a certain someone we used to work with back in Carvana days. Yeah. But we don't need to talk about him too much. Inappropriate behavior is inappropriate behavior. It's not acceptable anywhere. The workplace, you don't want to make people uncomfortable. They can file lawsuits against you, charges, what have you. Christian Wilkins got what he deserved as far as is concerned. So it is what it is. You hate to see inappropriate behavior or sexual misconduct anywhere, or harassment in general, anywhere, in any workplace or any time. So always got to deal with somebody making somebody uncomfortable. But we talked about the Trey Hendrickson back at camp amid the holdout. Is he kind of doing the hold in like this Harry McLaurin? I haven't heard too much on that one either.
Yeah, he's holding in starting tomorrow actually. So we'll see how that progresses his contract. Again, if I was him at this point, I don't think he's going to get a better contract anywhere. He doesn't have leverage, unfortunately. And in all honesty, he screwed himself over last offseason trying to get himself a raise and signed a bad contract. So, again, sympathy is kind of growing thin. Trey Hendrickson, just kind of accept your money at a good rate and move on. In my opinion.
For real. Hopefully soon, so we don't have to hear the Commanders report still talking about getting Trey Hendrickson. I really unsubscribed to them on YouTube just for the fact that it was Trey Hendrickson this, Trey Hendrickson that. It's like I don't want to hear about Trey Hendrickson. If I wanted to hear about him so much, I'd be a Bengals fan.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. We got Von Miller on the edge, and I feel like he'll be all right, more or less. I feel like he'll be more like a rotational piece. And I don't think he's going to be in all 3 downs just with his age and all that stuff. I feel like they'll come in when we have that NASCAR package with the heavy pressure. When you got Lulu and Wagner in there, and then you got you'll have him on the edge as well. So I feel like it'd be more of like a package special. But if they use him more, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we really need help with that on that edge room. So Desmond Watson not practicing while losing his weight, 464 pounds. That man is bigger than me, man. Bigger than me. That's crazy.
I don't know like his official weight right now, but
I think
again,
like
he's literally running around.
Close.
He's running around with, again, just pads on his back, and they're not letting him practice until he loses the weight. So honestly, bad work by Florida for not getting him ready for the NFL scene and getting him a little bit lighter. Maybe even go down to like a 410 in college and then start working your way into the 380s, 370s in the NFL, considering he's so tall. So again, just mismanagement of an athlete, in my opinion, by college, and mismanagement by Desmond not to get lighter himself.
Yeah, but either way, they took him. So why are they not allowing him to practice? Is he just too heavy, or is it a health concern as far as him passing down the field? Like, what is it?
Yeah, he's too heavy. Like you're betting on potential in the draft. So I don't fault him for it. They just wanted him to get smaller.
All right. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so into this Hall of Fame game that we got coming back. Football is indeed back. We have 2 more days, and unfortunately, we got to wait 2 weeks, but it is what it is. You can just say football is back, and we're going to say that right here. We got the Chargers taking on the Lions. You guys already know this, 8 p.m. in Canton, Ohio. Trey Lance is going to be starting the Hall of Fame game for the Chargers. I honestly expected them to play. I expected both teams to play their starters in the first game at least. I think it was like the first game they started. They didn't start the whole game. Like it was like either a quarter or a couple drives or whatever. The second one, I think it was just the backups played. The third one, the starters came in for a couple drives or a half or something like that. And then back when they had 4 preseason games, just the straight backups played the fourth one. So I mean, at least with the first one, get the starters a chance to at least get some continuity with a drive or 2, maybe a couple series. What do you think about that?
Again, the Chargers didn't play their starters last preseason. I didn't really expect them to this preseason. So again, I didn't really, see them deviating from that. Jim Harbaugh is very traditional. And again, the thing I don't get about the Chargers is you see how bad your interior line struggles throughout last season. You see the playoff game against the Texans, and you see how we can't handle stunts, and then you don't start the person who had the most trouble on the stunts in the first preseason game to try to get more continuity amongst the line. I don't personally get that.
Go ahead, tell them about themselves, Peyton. They deserve to hear it. But they're not listening. They're not watching this. This is what it is.
Again, they're not going to see this, but yeah, Zion Johnson, Bradley Bozeman, bums.
Bad babies. All right, man. I've also heard, apparently it's unverified though, that Detroit is also resting its starters. Or not resting, but sitting, because what are they resting for? They didn't even play yet. I mean, from camp. But sitting their starters, let's be correct here. They're going to sit their starters, but that's not verified. Traditional starters won't suit up for this game via Jim Harbaugh. You said this before, he's very traditional, and they're not gonna play their starters. Simple as that. Nothing more to explain.
Yep, pretty much.
Terrion Arnold, he was forced to exit practice today with a hamstring injury for Detroit. They were pretty thin last year in the secondary and on defense in general, but I mean, yeah. Just another injury, another blow to go to their team on that side of the ball. Just hopefully it's not a sign of things to come within this season. You don't want any team to really get bit by the injury bug, but he unfortunately exited today, and we don't know his timetable. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, my assumption, if it's a hamstring, hopefully it's not like too bad of a strain. Otherwise, they'll probably sit him until week 1. Terry Arnold is a beast. Again, the Lions had very terrible injury luck last year, so in all honesty, I think they're just going to take this time and rest their starters and focus on everyone being healthy, especially that offensive line of theirs, because they've already lost 3 of their guys from last year. So it's going to be a very different Detroit team, but again, it could be just as exciting because I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have a stellar year. He's in the running for Offensive Player of the Year. And then you got some of the best wideout talent in the league. You got Jared Goff, who's a solid quarterback. You still got Sam Laporta, and that defense is now healthy, who, again, first 8 weeks of last season was top 5. So bullish on the Lions, to say the least, as long as they got their guys healthy, but really just focused on how the coordinators look this preseason. I think that's the biggest key watch.
All right, and since everybody wants to bet on everything these days, looking in at 1.5 point favorites to win for the Lions. I said agreed as the Chargers sitting their starters, and I said it's unknown if Detroit is actually going to play this the same way or if they're going to actually have their starters start. We don't know, but honestly, I feel like the Lions should get out there. New coordinator, new coordinators on both sides of the ball, get some continuity to see how their starters are looking, and then just sit them after a series or 2. It is what it is. But then you don't want the injury bug to come back and bite them either. So that's pretty much what we got for this game. That the Lions are favored, but let's go. Let's go. Let's go Chargers. How would I handle it?
Let's go Chargers. Yeah,
right.
How would you handle it?
I would personally handle it as if I have a new coordinator on both sides of the ball. I'm playing 2 series, maybe 3, and that's it. Then the backups come in. For both teams, honestly, just even if you have the same, just around the same players as last year, you want to get everybody back into the swing of things. It's not camp where they can't touch the quarterback in certain aspects. You want to get that full contact, make sure your players are ready. I believe, if you don't want people to get hurt, right? Like at Matthew Stafford, for instance, sit him, play everybody else, just sit Stafford. It is what it is. Like, sit your players that are injury prone like that, or your older guys, or your more seasoned guys. I mean, Jared Goff is technically more seasoned, but then again, he's in a new system now. So honestly, I see
mean,
it.
fair enough. I respect that take.
What do you think, Mr. GM? What you got? GM Spencer. Let's go.
I wouldn't play any. I wouldn't play anyone as far as my starters go, for the most part. I mean, you're gonna have to throw some starters out there, of course. In my opinion, I would focus on offensive line continuity because, again, they are working hand in hand the whole time. Again, starting wide receivers are going to be out there for the most part. I think your alphas don't necessarily have to be out there, but for the Chargers, for example, right, they're not going to have Ladd McConkey out there, but they're going to have Quentin Johnston, Trey Harris, Keandre Lambert-Smith, Darius Davis, like other starters per se.
Quentin Johnston needs to be out there. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm saying he's playing. Like, they're starters. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He needs to be. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm saying I'm saying I agree with that. You can't sit everyone, but I think the offensive line is the most important piece as far as getting players out there, and then I like the defensive line continuity as well.
All right, so we got predictions on this game. Do you have any? If you had to pick anything.
You said the Lions -1.5, and you would take that. I would take the opposite side just because. Again, the scheme familiarity with the Chargers. I think Jesse Minter calls it solid floor defense no matter what. And
I didn't say I was going to take them because I honestly I do want the Chargers to win this game. I mean, it's a preseason game, but at the same time, I like to see the Chargers win. I'm going to say like 44-17. Not just kidding, nothing crazy like that. 1.5 points. I'm gonna raise it maybe 3. I'll go a field goal difference for this game. Probably do like a maybe
So you're saying the Lions win by 3?
Nah, Chargers win by 3. So I'm thinking like early 20s for Chargers. So let's do 21-18 maybe, or 20-17. I think that's fair.
Actually, why did I pick the Chargers? Chargers are terrible in preseason. I forget. Oops. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna have our backups in. It's gonna be no depth. I'm dumb. I'll pick the Lions by a landslide. Oops.
You're taking you're taking Hendon Hooker over possibly Taylor, Trey Lance, and Taylor. You know what? Maybe you're right.
behind freaking. I can't even name our backup line, dude. Jamari Sawyer, Zion Johnson is playing, Andre James. Like, we have some scrubs, man.
Well, scrubs can get it done sometimes, I guess. But I wanna throw everybody over here, and I want you to tell me what you think about these depth charts. If we're somewhat accurate here, I kind of zoomed them in and brought the pictures in just so you could take a look. We got Detroit Lions on the left here. We got Chargers on the right. This is just starting 3-4-D and 3-4-D for the Chargers, 4-3 for the Lions, and then your 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end for one tight end offensive formation. What are you thinking about it? So
I'm just checking it out real quick because ESPN sometimes has like players that aren't on their team anymore. Yeah, I'm just double checking.
That's just what I could find. I couldn't find too much more, but this is what I'm seeing
looks
so
pretty
far.
accurate, so we're fine. I don't think Junior Colson is going to be starting at linebacker for the Chargers, but yeah, it looks about accurate.
Okay. I mean, so honestly, I still think that I think Chargers are going to win. I feel like they lean on Marion Hampton early, if possible, just to get the rookie some touches. We're going to look into it. I mean, they say technically David Montgomery is their second string, but you're going to look at Craig Reynolds and Theon Vakai, if I'm not mistaken with the name.
Vaki.
All right, Vaki. And then behind him, you got Hassan Haskins and Kamini Vidal, whatever.
Kamani Vidal.
Kamini. Look, you can go either way. Kamini.
Kamani Vidal.
Dude, if you want to say Kamani, just drop the I and just do an apostrophe K or something. I don't know, man. But
I think it looks pretty standard.
No, it doesn't. It looks like Kamini.
It's better than Jaquay. It's better than Jaquay.
Jaquay Jackson. All right.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's some worse names.
Oh yeah. So you said Lad's not playing. So you got Darius Davis, Brendan Rice, LaQuay. You got Quentin Johnston, Jalen Reagor. No way.
Yeah.
He's your backup second or wide receiver 2. Yeah, Jalen Johnson and Luke Grimm. I don't know who Luke Grimm is.
he's our wide receiver 5. You don't look at it like, yeah, wide receiver 2 to that specific position, but we would certainly move people around.
Right.
And that's why I don't think, like, ESPN depth charts are kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, we're going off what we can. That's what I could find. It is what it is.
No worries.
Not really seeing much change, really. I mean, looking at both of them, we got Marcus Davenport over on the right defensive end side. I don't know, just like if you take their starters out completely, so if you're looking at 2nd through 4th right now, what would you pick? You got Hendon Hooker, David Montgomery starting quarterback, running back. You got Khalif Raymond, Isaac Tesla. That's such a weird spelling with a capital S there. Dominic Lovett.
They're not gonna play David Montgomery though either.
Yeah, so it would be Craig Reynolds.
That's their 1A, 1B. Yeah. But honestly, I would still take the Lions. I just think the Lions have better depth. In all honesty, I think our depth is pretty shot on our team. I think our coaching covers it.
All right, well, in my opinion,
makes it seem better than this.
Yeah, well, we'll get off of that screen right there. I think we did enough with that one. I I still think Chargers win. I'm gonna say like 20-17. Lock it and punch
Fair
it.
enough.
And I feel like they get most of their points early on the back of Amari and Hampton. Trey Lance maybe scrambles for one. We'll see.
I'll go 23-10 Lions.
Damn, 10. Okay.
Yeah,
Be a little hard on them. You said
not a Trey Lance guy anymore.
you were, and at all
When he first got drafted, I thought he had amazing tools, amazing arm strength, could run. Injuries, he just kind of never panned out. So we'll never know, but he ended bad.
Yeah. Oh, it is what it is. All right. Next week. So I'm thinking maybe we come in with the NBA draft since we don't have either that or we can do a post game review. What are you thinking? I would ask chat, but chat is not here. So what would y'all rather see? What would you rather do? Because I mean, I feel like doing an NBA draft before the NFL season when we start to really ramp up coverage and all that stuff would be more beneficial.
Okay. I'm done with whatever.
So we'll be back here next week on that one. It's been a shorter stream tonight. We're literally just covering the news and the Hall of Fame game. I don't know if you got any duds. I mean, I could check real quick to see if anything's updated, but I think
I didn't see anything come through really. I could double check, but
I mean, I usually give us something to talk about for a little while. All right, we already know Sheldon Rankins battling with meningitis shingles. Poor thing. Dre Greenlaw plays like Mike Tyson, apparently, according to Sean Payton. We got...
Jeez. I mean, yeah, Dre Greenlaw, that defense is just going to be so crazy.
Justin Fields going to wear a plastic toe on the right foot after a dislocated injury toe scare.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine though. It was just a little card off to be precautious, but he was all good. Same with Marquise Brown today. He got carded off, but he was perfectly fine. So.
And we're also looking at the Malik Neighbors toe issue, and he says like a mosquito, but that the bite that won't go away. That sucks. And obviously we talked about Tyler Guyton already, but.
Yeah, besides that, Xavier Worthy gets a concussion, but he'll be fine. No, that's all the news I have.
Steelers released Cordero Patterson on an off day. That's tough.
I did see that too. Yeah, he's like washed up. He tweeted about it too. He's like washed up. Cordy P got released on his off day. It's funny.
That's tough.
I think he could still play. Gadget guy.
Yeah. Taron Jackson hospitalized after training camp injury for the Niners. I didn't see this one at all. All right. He collapsed on the field after he was blocked on a play in practice and was on the ground for several minutes before taking off the field in a stretcher. Jackson was conscious, able to communicate and feel his extremities. We cleared some.
A lot of these card-offs are precautionary, you know.
Yeah, is it more or less like I'm wondering if it was like heat exhaustion or whatever.
Yeah, it definitely could be.
Bo Nix wants to be the best in the world. Bo Nix wants to be the best in the world. Sorry, Jaden Daniels got you beat there, buddy. I'm just kidding. Bo Nix is his own type of guy, man. It is what it is. He played pretty well last year.
Yeah. If he becomes less of a check down Andy, he should be a lot better.
What was that on the comments? They said that all Jaden Daniels threw was to check downs last year. Somebody said that he needs to be able to actually see the field more. And I was like, what are you talking about? I said he was throwing deep passes willy-nilly, throwing deep outs, post routes. He was throwing everything under the book. These people, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I like, even if he did throw a lot of them. Like, he had one of the highest percentage of screens and short routes than anyone else. But again, like, he fed it with the deep game. So I don't read into that too much. I just read into Cliff's offense, you know, being more
Yeah.
predictable year 2.
Well, I'm not reading into it only for the fact that that's literally what the offense instills. It's a lot of quick passes, screen game. Hang on a second. I'm trying to pull it up real quick.
Of course, I can see defensive coordinators really shortening the field on him, and it being more of a problem in year 2. But again, not enough of a problem to make any crazy accusations. I still think they're going to be a really good offense and a solid team.
So I have to go back to a short that we made. Which team would you cut and why? NFL teams. Somebody said Cardinals and Jaguars in the comments.
I mean the Jaguars make a lot of sense in my opinion, but not so much the Cardinals. Cardinals, have a really good fan base, and
yeah, we also said that they had a decent market.
And I mean Jacksonville, they're just expanding their new franchise, so I get that. Excuse me. Just kind of unknown there, and it's all been bad thus far, so I don't fault that.
Yeah. Let me see what else we got here. I think we got some decent engagement on the Williams and Caleb. Yeah, this is where it is. He said also they said that history doesn't work out so well with college style offense. It's the second year. You better hope Clint drew up something other than checkdowns rather than going to wait a minute. Let me read this right, because this is giving me an aneurysm right here. Okay. History doesn't work out so well when a college style offense hits its second year. You better hope Clint drew up something that includes the entire field rather than just going to Jordan's check down every time. Chicago's finishing last again. Are you high? The Bears have nothing on the Packers, Vikings, or Lions to be able to win the division.
We already discussed that one.
Yeah, did we
discuss some of these already?
Did we do it on stream?
Like most. Yeah, we did.
All right, and I think the new ones actually got TikTok stuff, so that's why I was just looking at it. And then we can wrap up with that, because then that's it. That's the start of it. Got to make some more of these tomorrow, actually. All right, internet, let's go. Go, McDonald's Wi-Fi, go. Damn, this is bad. We had some frame drops tonight in our stream too, 5.6%, but it's better than completely lagging it. I think Mystic actually lagged out completely last night. We had to restart. I don't know what's up with it. All right, they say that the Ravens have the best rushing attack. What do you mean B tier? Because I said maybe B, possibly A, when we were going over our short, and they've had 1 year, is what he said when I said they just need to get it done in the playoffs. We still kept them in A tier for the Ravens.
I mean, they've had previous Lamar MVP season. They've had years where they've gone 13-4 and they haven't got it done. I don't really. Again, 1 year with Derrick Henry maybe, but 2 years with Todd Monken where Lamar crapped the bed in the playoffs. Again, he didn't play his best against the Bills, and that's why they lost. Again, Mark Andrews also factors into that. It's a team sport, but Lamar also did not start that game hot at all. He played terrible in the first half. So this 1 year argument, it's disingenuous.
There you go.
But yeah, I think the A tier is perfect for them. I don't think you get higher than that. They haven't earned S tier. They're also not a B tier team, because the B tier teams that we had listed were clearly playoff contenders, but not Super Bowl contenders. So leave it at that.
Yeah.
Not quite sure why you got mad over, maybe B tier. Like, he's just analyzing through. He's saying it's possible.
Yeah,
Anything's possible.
Watch the stream, man.
Don't get crazy. Yeah,
Watch
don't
the
get
stream, you'll see
crazy.
it. Yep.
I'll get him.
And then the other comment being you're drunk, and I said what I said there. Spoke straight facts. Rather be factual and drunk than sober. And look, I didn't say.
Leave it. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. And then we're also talking about the NFL teams who you'd cut on this one. Browns in the AFC, Cardinals in the NFC. Saying Eagles is absolutely wild. 5 Super Bowl appearances, 2 chips, 9 championship game appearances, and an over 500 all-time record. Yeah, I was kind of tough. It was kind of tough for me to say that. It was more or less a joke. I wasn't being serious. You know, I'm a Redskins, Commanders fan, so it is what it is. Of course, we're gonna dish out in our rivals, but you know, obviously now the Eagles deserve to be here. They're making this division great again, I guess you could say. Said the Eagles before 2018, crazy statement. They're coming at me for that one. Had multiple Super Bowl appearances, a ton of NFC Championship appearances, and over a 500 record of all time. This personally just said what the other guy was saying. Okay.
Yeah. Again, it's just facts. The Eagles are a good team historically.
Yeah, I said it was a joke on my part. I'm just a hater in some aspects. Appreciate the comments though. Always appreciate the engagement, everybody. Like, you know, nothing wrong with that. And then Trevor posted a fire emoji on that one. Yeah. Nobody commented on NFL meddling, and then I think on the Caleb X Caleb debate, it was Jaden Daniels is better. They really spelled his name wrong, but I'm not going. Look, internet is not. We don't have to spell check. It is what it is. I think they're both going to be good. As a Bears fan, I like Caleb. Bear down. Okay, I agree with that one. I mean, yeah, they're both going to be good.
Fair. Good
comment. Daniels is the best rookie quarterback we've seen in a long time, and I kind of, you know, I agree with that. Like, he gives me shades of RG3. I think he had a better season than RG3 as far as rushing stats are concerned and all that. And, you know,
he's the best rookie ever.
Huh?
He was the best rookie quarterback ever.
Yeah. Are you saying like sarcastically?
In my opinion.
Yeah, what, RG3 or Daniels?
No, Daniels. Who do you think's over him?
I'm just saying it's pretty damn close. Everybody was saying RG3 was gonna light the league on fire.
I don't know. Jaden Daniels has the playoff success. I think he was a little bit more efficient.
Yeah.
Less games.
His mechanics were a lot better too. RG3, you could tell he was just a runner. His drop back game was not very good. Like you look at old film versus like Jaden Daniels or any quarterback this day and age, and you just think RG3, why are you sprinting back looking? Why are you dropping back looking like that? Why does your steps look like that? You know what I'm saying? Like just.
I mean, he had a cannon though.
Yeah, but like a lot of people say, a strong arm is going to get you everywhere. You got to be able to do right by and read defenses and, you know, change protections and stuff like that. It's just something you couldn't do.
I don't know. I think it's injuries, man. I think if he stayed healthy, he would have been a top 5 guy for a while. But I don't know. Maybe that's coming from a place of prior bias. But I remember him hopping on the scene, and I'm like, this guy's already leading a top 5 offense in a year where they're not supposed to be led like that. You know, it was kind of like Cam Newton hopping on the scene or someone like that. You know, they transformed the team. Like, I would give him a little more credit.
We'll give an RG. Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound like the Commanders fan right now, because I'm basically just gonna say it like this. It was more or less just like a 1 year wonder. Like you said, injuries had a lot to do with it, but at the same time, they were trying to change him into something that he's not. He's not a pure drop back passer. He's not Kirk Cousins. Why were they trying to make him be Kirk Cousins? That's the thing I don't.
I think it's partially that. I think it's the injury concern, though. I think it's just because of that. They tried to get him to be injured less, causing him not to be the quarterback he once was. But if he never got injured, that never happens. He's the same quarterback, if not better, from that point on. That's where I'm alluding to.
All right. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Jaden did better, but he had a far better team, I think, as of now. I'm talking about Caleb Williams. So Jaden had a far better team than Caleb Williams. I think as of now, they're very close together with Jaden being better. I believe Caleb has more potential. And you said that too. You said that before. You said that you liked Caleb's, off-script play type and all that stuff, and he was just a better improviser or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So now that Orlando is agreeing directly with you, I said W comment on that one, because, you know, it's nice to get talking in the comments, but you don't need to say, oh, this quarterback sucks. Like, you're at home on your couch, bro. Unless he really does suck, like if he's like a Tim Boyle or freaking Matt Barkley, Mark Sanchez.
Just make your
exact-
point without getting mad.
Yeah.
Like that's what I can't stand. People can't make a point without getting upset or making it personal, and that's just them projecting. So
Yeah, it
just let
shows
'em be.
it shows less intelligence on their part. But yeah,
Just lack of experience, more so. It just not. They haven't lived enough life.
lived enough life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you're in your young state of mind, your young age or whatever, and oh shoot, I'm going. You're in your young stage or whatever, and you're talking about people not living their life. I'm older than you, and you're smarter than me. It is what it is, man. It's not about the experience. It's about how
Experiences.
a lot of people have they just dig surface level. They don't really try to dig too deep. In my opinion, with stuff like.
Well,
They-
I think that's equated to experiences, though. I think experiences cause you to feel certain ways and cause you to think differently. Because if you take on more of a responsibility when you're young, you're going to think about things deeper. If you're allowed to, mess off when you're young and you don't gain that sense of responsibility until you're older and it hits you different, you act certain ways. Like, experiences are everything.
Fair enough, man. But I guess that's really all we got. I mean, we went over some comments, we went over the Hall of Fame game, we went over the depth charts, we went over the injuries and news, and I think we're good to go on this one. We'll be back next week with either an NBA draft or a post game, or maybe a little bit of both. We can run a little bit of a post game first and just kind of get over the duds, and then we'll get right to the draft. So. We'll see what everybody's availability is, and we'll be back with that. So just know we'll be back here at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time next Tuesday here on JDB Sports. You guys have a good one.
Peace.